Aloha! I'm making a video today for no real particular reason except that I got brave and cut my hair by myself. And I used Miss Lovely B. Townsend's video, and I am going to link it below. I am not going to attempt to explain to you how to do it. It is far easier for me to just refer you to her video below. She did a video called Giving Myself a Vintage Haircut, and when I got desperate, you can see I cut quite a bit of length off of it. You can probably see that from my last video when I'm doing the Lauren Reynolds hairstyle. And I'm pretty happy with it. It is going to be styled in a second and you will see what it looks like. But basically I followed that tutorial exactly. I just cut a lot more length off than she did. So I didn't trim my bangs. I wasn't sure yet what I wanted to do with them. I'm not sure if I want to cut them yet or if I want to grow them out a little bit longer so I can do a few extra styles. But that is what I am doing. So this video is all about being brave and cutting my own hair. You'll see that it still falls in the horseshoe kind of shape in the back just a little bit. It needs more layering in order to truly fall, whenever I curl it, for it to truly fall in a vintage style. It really needs a little bit more layering, but I don't feel as comfortable or confident with the layering on my own hair. So really I just focused on getting the length cut off. And I did take the ends and do exactly what she does in the video and sort of cut into the ends so that they fall a little fluffier. My hair is a lot straighter from what I can tell than hers is. My hair is very straight. I actually flat ironed it yesterday, which is what you're seeing now, but this is what it looks like unstyled. And yeah, I'm not going to say everybody should go do this because everybody has their own level of comfort when it comes to what they're willing to do on themselves. I have always cut my own bangs. I don't trust other people to cut them. So therefore doing this was really not that big a stretch for me. However, I could see where for some people it would be a really, really big stretch. For me also, it wasn't that big a risk because I am about to get my hair chopped. So I didn't really feel like it was that much. I had that much to lose. So as soon as we are able to go to salons, I'm going to go to my buddy Amina and let her cut it shorter. However, this is for the purpose of doing tutorials and playing with my hair while I am a shut-in. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to roll it in hot sticks. Y'all know that heated sets do not take on me. It is rainy outside, it is humid, and so this should be really interesting. We're going to see if it actually takes, but we'll see what happens. It probably will look pretty for about 20 seconds. So just long enough to film this video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, now I have these bangs here, so I'm going to take them and get them out of the way first. Every time I do this, I always regret it. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to take about a 2-inch section at my part. There's my part. Kinda, sorta. It's not the neatest part ever, but anyway. I'm going to take this 1-inch section and I'm going to spray it with Tresemme Heat Tamer Spray. As you know, I am somebody who's always used my styling product on each section. I don't just spray it through my hair. I like to use it on each section. So this is the hot sticks, so they're a little hotter than typical heated sets, which is what makes them usually work better for me. So there's one. I'm using the viewfinder. That's probably not smart. Ruby, bring me that Clinique mirror. And I've noticed the larger ones, and you've seen me say this in a million hot sticks videos, the larger ones do tend to hold better than the smaller ones. So I'll show you what I have always done to kind of get the smaller ones to stay. Might be using a little too much hair in each of these sections, and I may regret that, but we'll see. If you've got very thick hair, you will need 2 sets of these in order to get your hair into a proper vintage set, because these are, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 of them in the set. And so if you're wanting to roll smaller sections the way you really need to get a proper vintage set, you are going to have to get another set of these for your long hair. Because the longer your hair is and the thicker it is, the less hair you want to put on it in order to get a good curl. But I usually just wrap it around the ends first and then roll it up to the scalp. And I try to get them as close to one another as possible so that they sort of lay almost like overlapping. It's the same method I use with bendable rollers and rock and rollers. All right, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 large rollers on this side. I'm gonna do 3 large rollers on this side of the part, aiming down the other direction. I do get busy doing other things, and then I'm like, oh, I'll film tomorrow. So I'm just fascinated by how many girls are being so prolific and posting so often. Some of my very, very favorites are, of course, Rachel Maxey. She is still my favorite girl to watch. I feel like her videos are so entertaining. Even if it's something that I can't really identify with, like sewing, which I will never do. I love watching her sewing videos. And then I also really, really love Miss B. I feel like I love her style. Her clothing style is incredible. I love watching her outfits. Lacey Faye did a video with all her favorite vintage dresses, and I adored that video. I think I might do a vintage dress video as well. Tell me if you want to see that. I do have quite a few dresses that I love, even though I haven't shopped in a very long time. So most of them you will have already seen, but they are older, oldies but goodies. And now I'm rolling the rest of my hair in the small rollers. Now, the small rollers tend to pop open and they drive me nuts. So what I will do is take a pin curl clip and put it right at the joint. It kind of keeps that from happening. It's not 100%, but it does kind of keep it from happening. There's still some tension there, so it makes it a little harder to be 100% with it. So, I like spraying each section with the heat tamer spray because I feel like I get a little bit easier grip on my little slippery hair doing each section. You could also use a brushable hairspray if you wanted to. I like this water-based heat protectant. So I'm going to take my bangs first of all and do them. I'm going to take them and curl them over the direction of the part. And I usually spray it, a little hairspray, while it's setting. This curling iron does not get all that hot, so I usually have to hold it for a little while. And I'll usually just hold my hair until it feels like the heat's coming through. And then I'll pull the curling iron out and clip it back. Same thing right here. I'm only going to do it twice.
He's a wiggly kitty.
This is Marshall Lee. He is huge and beautiful. Look how pretty he is. I'm so pretty, and I don't want to be held up. See how pretty? This is Marshall Lee. Now, there's a funny story about Marshall Lee. When Marshall Lee was a kitten, we thought his name was Marceline, and we called him a little bat, and it was a girl. We thought it was a girl. Everybody thought it was a girl. And we took him to get him fixed, spayed, and I was waiting for them to call me and tell me that he was finished, or she was finished, and they called and they said, Marceline is not a girl. Marceline is a boy. And I said, how? Because there was no physical evidence of this at all. And they said he was one of those ones that even they could not tell until they went in a little further. So it was hilarious. And I told my kids, because we were at a movie, and I told my kids, well, our cat is not a female, it's a boy. And, you know, it's a little it's a little stressful at first because you formed this relationship with this girl animal. But if any of you know who Marceline is from Adventure Time,
The Vampire Queen!
There is a female, or there's a male counterpart to her called Marshall Lee. And he is the Vampire King. So he became Marshall Lee. And now the name suits him. But at the time, it was very traumatic to discover that my cat was not a female.
He's better as a boy.
I think y'all might remember me showing her on camera back when she was a little bitty kitten, but she wasn't a she. Okay, so I'm actually using my hairspray because my hair is so slippery right now. So it's been about 30 minutes. I am now going to unroll, starting in the order that I rolled. So top ones first. And then what I do is I take my hairspray. I'm using Elnet today. I prefer Kenra. And I just sort of spray each section because this is a brushable hairspray. So just to give myself a little extra, just to give myself a little bit of extra help with the set, I will spray each section as I unroll it. I don't like a whole lot of volume with my vintage styles. I prefer a little bit less volume. But what I will do is just take each section that I just sprayed and I will tease it at the root. Just at the root. Lay that one over. And I'm teasing it in the area that's laying closest to my head. Sorry, I'm trying to crane to see in this mirror. And then I'll lay it over. And I'm only doing that on the top sections. The bottom sections, I'm going to just release them, and then I'll do a little bit of back combing at the bottom for volume. Because like I said, I don't have enough layers with this little haircut that I gave myself, so I'm going to have to give myself just a little bit of oomph with some teasing at the bottom. Okay, I think that's all of them. Got a random clip. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is sort of shake through the curls, which is what I do with every set. I'm going to go ahead and, I was going to wait, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take these out too because I don't really care to give them all that much to have to work with. I'm going to kind of hide them a little bit. All right, so this is what it's going to look like when it comes out of the Hot Stick set. And the look I'm going for is sort of a pseudo loose 1940s look. So in order to get that to look a little bit more 1940s, I'm going to have to pull the curl to the bottom of the style. And the first thing I'm going to do is take my bangs and sort of blend them in with the rest of my hair. You've all seen me do this a million times. I'm going to get just one bobby pin, should be all I need. I usually use black. At the outside corner of my eyebrow. And then I'm going to take my hairspray, do this, so you kind of see the back of my hair is coming up over the bobby pin, which is what I wanted. And I have a little bit of volume here to kind of marry all that together. And then I'm going to start taking the bottom sections and brushing them downwards and around my hand. Sections downward around my hand, downward around my hand. And if I had layers, this would fall a little bit more of a waterfall, but I am not mad at it because I've still got some fluff around the bottom and it's giving me pretty close to the look I want, just not, it's not 100%. So you can actually take some little clips and anything you see that you want to kind of hold, you can sort of take your clips and hold it there for a second just to make sure that while you spray it, it's falling in the same exact pattern that you want it to. And right now it's very, it kind of has that similarity to Donna Reed, which I always have loved. I'm going to take my teasing comb now and just sort of tease underneath these bottom sections to give it just a little bit more volume. You don't want to go to the top section because of course you've got your curls sort of maintained there. So what I'll do is sort of just tease on the bottom and use my hand to sort of fluff it. And then we can do the same on this side. Just sort of teasing underneath. that kind of gave it a little, it solidifies the bottom here. Got this gorgeous hyacinth from Bell Blossoms. I'm going to just pop it in right here. I love how this one lays against the head. And there you go. Let me get this like section right here folded in. And there you go. Cut my hair myself, feeling pretty pleased with how it turned out. So by all means, don't be afraid. If your hair is in desperate need of a haircut, try it. And that way, you know, even if you do have to go a little bit longer with the, even if you have to go a little bit longer initially because you don't want to, you know, screw things up for yourself, go a little bit longer, but at least you'll have that nice clean edge so you can get your sets and everything to stay in. Mine was so ratty at the ends, it was just ridiculous. But anyway, this is the Hot Stix result on my homemade haircut. Bye. I didn't really show the back. This is the back. So, soft on the bottom. Again, if I had more layers, it would be more waving, stacked on top of each other. So because it's a little bit more all one length, it's falling with the curls at the bottom. Okay with that for now. So, thought I'd show you that. Bye.